Springtime is a busy time for TV shows to release their new shows, but I can tell you Your Friends and Neighbors is one that has to be at the top of your list. I'm talking with showrunner creator Jonathan Tropper. So tell us what this show's all about.
The show's about a neighborhood of one percenters in upstate New York, and specifically about a hedge fund manager who seems to have it all, but after he loses his job, is in danger of losing everything. And in desperation, he kind of discovers how easy it is to steal from his friends and neighbors.
Show is so much fun, obviously led by Jon Hamm, who his star keeps growing by the day. I mean, he is in so many great shows. He is leading this show. What was it like when you finally got the announcement that Jon Hamm is starring in this show?
It wasn't really an announcement. I actually approached John before I wrote the show, and I pitched him the idea, and it was his excitement about the idea that encouraged me to write the pilot. So by the time I wrote the pilot, he was the first person I sent it to. And once he signed on, then we took the show to Apple. So, you know, I still sit on set sometimes watching John do the scenes and marvel at the fact that I have one of the most iconic actors of the last 25 years doing the show. And, I can't express just how much that adds to it. Yeah.
I mean, he's so terrific in it. Obviously, Mad Men, the morning show, but now he is going to be known for Your Friends and Neighbors as well. He's very, I'll say this in a polite way. He's shirtless in most of his scenes, but very sexual in nature, but there's no nudity. I mean, not from the women either. It's a very sexual show in mind, but it's also appropriate for most audiences. What about that was kind of playing out in this mindset for you as the creator?
It's always challenging when you have to adhere to a certain standard. We certainly didn't want to, do, graphic sex scenes. And at the same time, we wanted the show definitely to be an adult show with an adult feel. So, you work within the framework you have and what the guidelines from Apple TV are, to make it feel like grown-ups. And I think if you're focused more on what the scene is accomplishing and what the feeling of the scene is, I think you don't really have to worry about, well, are we showing this much nudity, that much nudity? We're careful just to tell the story that's happening on screen.
Told so beautifully. And obviously you have Apple TV Plus's full support because they've already greenlit it for a second season before it even premieres. What can you kind of preview with, obviously we can't give away spoilers, but what can you preview about a second season where we're going to follow these characters?
I've said this before in interviews, but I always treat second seasons like The Empire Strikes Back. And, things have to get darker, deeper, more complex, and the stakes have to just get bigger for everybody. And that's kind of what we're working on.
It's a great way to put that. Obviously, Star Wars fans know that reference, but make sure you watch Your Friends and Neighbors starting April 11th on Apple TV Plus, Fridays after that as well. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Film star Amanda Peet, we know her from The Whole Nine Yards, a lot like you, 2012, but I'm loving the television decisions she's making. Dirty John, Fatal Attraction, and Your Friends and Neighbors is no different. So tell us about your character in this Apple TV Plus show.
That was a great intro.
Thank you.
I really loved the relationship that my character Mel has with Jon Hamm's character Coop. I love this idea that they're divorced and they're exes, but they can't quite get over each other. That was really fun to play. It's very fun to play someone who's really attracted to someone, but they can't stand it that they're attracted to that person.
There are so many people that are going to be watching this and can relate to that aspect. I mean, it's so relatable for audiences, but Jon Hamm, the chemistry between your two characters, both negative and positive, is off the charts. What was it like working with him?
I adore him. What can I say? He's easy on the eyes. But he's really a gentleman. And he gave me his coat when I was cold. Like, he's just a class act, and we laughed a lot and had a great time. And so, yeah.
I'd love to hear that about someone like him who everyone loves. We can't get enough of Jon Hamm these days. But these TV projects, like I mentioned, that you're in, it's so great to see your character develop over these 8 episodes or however many episodes a season is versus a 2-hour movie. What keeps drawing you into these TV projects?
Yeah, I think just what you said, you hit the nail on the head. I think it's really fun to be able to discover a character over time and have that time to draw things out and create suspense and layers. And yeah, so that's why I love it. And also, it's, you always have like first day jitters, and I do, because I get really nervous that I am dreadful at what I do. So it's nice to have the time to begin to relax and get more confident. So that's part of why I like it too.
You come across so screen on confidently on that, and also a co-actress alongside you, Olivia Munn. I mean, it's like, are they friends? Are they mortal enemies because of Jon Hamm's character? It's so fun to see this dynamic between you two, especially at the scene where I don't want to give too much away, but the scene where you guys are doing the demonstration of the kind of karate or whatever you want to call it. But it's so fun with your characters.
Well, she's the most fun person ever, and we really laugh so hard doing that fight scene. um, and yeah, we were really excited. I mean, I think the whole theme of the show is like, do I really know you? I think I know you, but what if you have a whole other life? What if can you be that fake? So I love that idea because I think it makes me uncomfortable watching that. And I feel like it's a very real and human thing to suddenly be like, but wait, I've been sleeping next to you for 15 years, but what if you have another kid? What if
You are so right about that. I mean, audiences are going to be watching with the people next to them, asking those same questions, but they're going to be loving Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV Plus this spring. Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Take care.
Mark Tallman, Amy Carrera are supporting characters alongside Jon Hamm, Amanda Peet, and Your Friends and Neighbors. So, Mark, tell us where your character comes into play here.
Oh, he comes into play right away. Not in the best way. So Nick is one of Coop's best friends in life, and unfortunately decides to sleep with Coop's wife, which sucks in any circumstance similar to that. But at the same time, they really are best of friends. So you see Nick fight for that loyalty that existed between them and fight for his friendship back. And I think we learn to root for Nick as much as we want to hate him because there is a lot of goodness in him, and he serves as kind of a connective tissue and cushion to the folks around him, all the other characters, emotionally, literally, physically. He's like a punching bag in some ways. So yeah, I think audiences, as mad as they'll be at Nick to start, they'll start to root for him.
Yeah, they're gonna
throughout the season.
Really well. And Amy, your character kind of catches Jon Hamm's character red-handed, but it's a fun dynamic between your characters. Tell us more about Elena.
Yeah, so I don't know how much I can spoil, but I will say what I love about playing this character is, when you meet her, you think she's going to be one thing, and very quickly you realize she contains multitudes, and it really leads to, like you said, a super fun dynamic. They have a working relationship that can get quite dangerous, and as the season progresses, only gets more complicated and messier. And honestly, I really hope that the audience relates to her in a way, because she's not from West Mountain Village. She lives a different lifestyle, if you want to call it that. And so I'm hoping that the audience could see through her eyes and really connect there.
Disney fans are going to know this is not your first time playing in Elena. We know your voice from Elena of Avalar, but this is not for families. This is a different Elena on a totally different show. I mean, what do you want Disney fans to know? Okay, you can't watch. I mean, parents can watch this, but do not show this to your kids. It's totally different.
Well, thankfully, I sound nothing like Elena on this show. That would be confusing if I had a princess voice.
Yeah.
So even if they did turn it on, they'd be like, this isn't the Elena that I know. But yeah, definitely not safe for kids. But there's something for the whole family. You can play, my time, and then you can watch me do some illegal things on this show.
There you go. Audiences are going to be fully engaged in Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV Plus this spring. Thank you both so much.
Thank
you. We appreciate you.
Your Friends and Neighbors is in a terrific ensemble drama, actually, on Apple TV Plus. I'm talking to two of the stars, Hoon Lee, Eunice Bay. Hoon, tell us about your character in this show.
My character, Barney Choi, plays the best friend and financial advisor to Jon Hamm's character, Andrew Cooper. And as Coop descends into a life of crime, he drags Barney with him as his fortunes are tied to Coop's. Through the course of the season, we see Barney make peace with the fact that this client of his, that was his sort of largest catch, so to speak, is going to become more and more volatile and less predictable, and all the fallout that ensues.
These supporting stories are so intriguing. It's not one of those shows where it's like, oh, I need Jon Hamm on my screen. These supporting stories are riveting. They're exciting. Eunice, where does your character come into play in this?
Well, Grace Choi is wife of Barney Choi and best friend of Mel, Coop's wife, ex-wife. Ooh, jeez. Sorry. Hey. And she's really there to kind of be this home base for Barney when this world that Coop is raining down on him and the chaos that's happening. She's kind of there to, well, she sprinkles her own little chaos in the home too. But it's definitely a place where we see stability and grounding in this community, and Grace is a really big part of that. And making sure that the family comes first is something that is an anomaly in Westmont Village.
I'm going to use the word muse for this. Obviously, Sarah Paulson is Ryan Murphy's muse, but I'm going to call you Jonathan Tropper's muse. I mean, you followed him in Warrior, you followed him in Banshee, and now you're in Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV+. What is it like working with him? Obviously, it has to be a good working relationship to keep joining him on his shows.
I don't know why he keeps hiring me, if I'm honest. I've almost ruined everything he's done. But I think we came up kind of together in certain ways. He had a very successful career as a novelist, but Banshee was the first series regular job I had. It was the first time he had developed a show and gotten it onto the air and became showrunner. So I think in some ways we were learning sort of each other's styles at the same time as we were coming up professionally. And we're very close, and I think that we understand each other creatively as well. So I've been very fortunate to be able to play these incredible characters that he's crafted. They're such a pleasure. He makes me look very good, though. I have no problem admitting that. So hopefully it continues, unless he becomes utterly sick of the sight of me, which I wouldn't blame him for.
There's no mistake in this casting. You guys are both great in this show. Your Friends and Neighbors, April 11th on Apple TV+, Fridays after that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.